APC releases zoning arrangement ahead of national convention amidst intrigues and internal wranglings. And the Senate today voted against the request of President Buhari for the amendment of the Electoral Act 2022. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. Reactions have continued to trail the outcome of the Federal High Court judgment which sacked Governor Umahi, his deputy, and some Ebonyi State lawmakers. The Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has criticized Governor Umahi for refusing to obey a court order which has asked him to vacate office as the governor of the state. The NBA president, Olumide Akpata, in a statement described Governor Umahi's response as impunity of the highest order and executive rascality taken too far. Mr. Akpata said the NBA has absolutely no interest in the outcome of the case in question and will continue to stay away from partisan politics, but he condemns what he termed Umahi's unfortunate diatribe, which, if it had emanated from an average litigant, would still have been regarded as shocking, but coming from one who occupies the exalted office of a state governor is nothing short of a national embarrassment. That is a statement from the Nigerian Bar Association earlier today. Meanwhile, the governor appears to have changed his line of thought or argument from when the judgment came from yesterday, and today we are hearing him say something a little bit different. Today, he says that he has confidence in the judiciary. The governor expressed confidence in the Nigerian judiciary following Tuesday's pronouncement by an Abuja court declaring his seat and that of his deputy, Kelechi Igwe, vacant. Addressing thousands of APC supporters who thronged the Udensi roundabout in the state capital Abakaliki to solidarize with him, Governor Umahi told Ebonyi people who came out in their numbers to remain peaceful and law-abiding. Take a listen to Governor Umahi.
We did not say we will disobey, otherwise we will not appeal. But the judgment that is keeping us in office, irrespective of the antics of the purported chairman of PDP, who came to power through the back door, which the national chairman, which God is still addressing. And so the judgment of Ebonyi State has said that Section 308, that no civil proceeding, no civil suit or criminal will be brought against a sitting judge. And that is what the judgment says here. And the other judgment says otherwise. So we are before the appeal of Enugu, appeal of Abuja. And we have also filed stay of execution over there. So we are still the governor and deputy governor of the state. And so we have appealed against that. Our House of Assembly members are still very...
They have Governor Umahi there. So it does look like there seems to be some legal point of view, a change of the narrative from yesterday. Well, I think emotion actually got out yesterday, but we'll be hearing more reactions based on what happens in the courtroom later on. But let's go ahead and speak about some other issues that have emanated relating to legal issue. In spite of an ex parte order by the Federal High Court, the Nigerian Senate has gone ahead to work on the Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act, which the President requested the National Assembly to tinker with. This is despite the order of court that no action should be taken on the case. Well, the Senate yesterday has said, look, there is separation of powers. And so no other arm of government can stop the other arm of government from performing its constitutional duties. So the Senate has thrown out the request of President Muhammadu Buhari by vote, of course, for the amendment of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act, which prevents appointive political office holders from contesting for election from party primary level without resigning. The request was rejected after the Senate leader, Senator Yahya Abdullahi of the APC in Kebbi North, made the lead debate for the second reading of the bill. The senators kicked against it and voted no when put to voice vote by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan. President Buhari last week wrote the Senate seeking an amendment of the Section 84, subsection 12 in the 2022 Electoral Act. Take a listen to the argument on the floor of the Senate.
This provision has been interpreted by the executive arm of government as introducing qualification and disqualification criteria that are ultra-violating the Constitution by way of importing blanket restriction and disqualification to serving political office holders.
We don't need to be told that if we want to run for office and we are appointed into an office that we have to resign. That is a sine qua non that we don't even need to debate. Yet, here we are today in Nigeria, and people think that they can sit in an office and contest an election and become candidates and continue to sit in that office until the date of election.
No political party shall seek to disqualify anybody by importing into the process a provision for qualification or disqualification not otherwise provided for in the Constitution. It is there at the beginning. I believe that's section 84, section 84(2).
Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay.
All right. So in legislative politics and the proceedings, this is some of the drama that you see happen. I wonder if the process will be taken to the House of Reps. So tonight, we'll get a benefit and an insight of what is happening in the APC firsthand, what the president said, what he ordered, how the party is moving forward, because one of the governors, the prominent ones, will be talking to us tonight on the program. Stay tight, everyone. Get a cup of coffee if you may, get a bottle of water if you can, because after we come back from giving you some of your political roundup stories, we dig right into the heart of the matter. Stay with us. Your political roundup now.
And that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that
the Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Kennedy Ibe, has sworn in the member representing Ngokmala State Constituency. After taking the oath of office, the member promised to deliver good representation to the people of his constituency and the entire state. His swearing in is coming 2 weeks after winning the by-election held in the state. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has been speaking on the issues affecting the country, including agitations by secessionist groups, insecurity, youth restiveness, among others. Chief Obasanjo was speaking in Owerri, the Imo State capital, during a dinner organized for him by the State Governor Hope Uzodinma. For the former president, deliberate and strategic investment on youth may go a long way to address some of the challenges, including restiveness and criminality among youth. Governor Hope Uzodinma described the former president as a patriotic, committed and pan-African leader with huge contribution to the nation's development.
Whatever may be the group in which they are, we have to find solutions.
Our coalition under the name Osinbajo Global Movement has called for support for the candidacy of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for the 2023 presidential election. The leadership of the group during a meeting with members in Lagos said its goal is to rally support for the Vice President and ask him to join the race. They boast of having members from across the world, adding that they are putting in personal resources into this because of their belief in Professor Osinbajo to redefine the economy and security situation of the country. Our group, under the umbrella of the Coalition of Nigerian Professionals in Politics, is calling on former President Goodluck Jonathan to join the 2023 presidential race. The group, during a press conference in Abuja, said Nigeria needs a leader like Goodluck Jonathan who will consolidate on the recorded success in the nation's democracy.
Please round of applause for this.
And In Bauchi, the State Independent National Electoral Commission has called for the mobilization of eligible voters to take part in the voters' registration rotation exercise, which is set to commence as a way to ensure that no eligible citizen is disenfranchised. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Ibrahim Abdullahi, made a plea during a stakeholders meeting. He noted that over 200,000 eligible voters have been registered in Bauchi State since the commencement of the continuous voters registration exercise in July 2021.
With your political roundup, and you are now up to date. Let's get into our main focus for tonight. It appears things are moving pretty fast in the last 3 days as far as the All Progressives Congress plans for the National Convention is concerned. You might be asking, what is responsible for that? Today, the acting national chairman and the governor of Niger State announced zoning of the different offices as ratified by the leaders of the party. Well, and he addressed a press conference after the meeting. It is now confirmed that the national chairman of the APC will come from the north central region of the country. Take a listen to the governor, Bello. Okay, so there you go. That is a list of the offices: the national chairman from the north central, national secretary from the southwest, organizing secretary from the northwest, publicity secretary south-south, the legal advisor from the northwest. Have about 10 major NWC positions: national treasurer southeast, national auditor northeast, financial secretary from northwest, national youth leader southwest, and the women leader south-south. Those are your at least the national working committee position. The zoning as it is, the zonings for every of the zonal offices were also included. But take a listen to Governor Bello on how they arrived at this zoning arrangement.
Also to remind you that you have to work hard so that you ensure the National Convention will hold on Saturday, the 26th of March, 2022 at the Eagle Square. That date is sacrosanct, inshallah. I will read out the list of members and secretary. The final list for other members of the committee will be out hopefully today or tomorrow. The subcommittee on convention list will work tirelessly to ensure that we get a comprehensive list, having in mind or bearing in mind that they have to accommodate, there must be inclusiveness, and all corners of the country must be represented somehow in one form or the other. So they are taking their time so they don't make mistakes. Even though we know they are human beings, they will make mistakes, but at least let it be minimal. So the final list should be out hopefully by tomorrow, so that the chairman and secretaries of the committees will know their members and they start work immediately.
Well, Governor Bello of Niger State, the acting national chairman of the APC caretaker committee. Well, the governors of the APC have been deeply involved in the affairs and the running of the party in the last few months. Well, you can link the action of the past days to some of the efforts of the governors. Tonight, I'm being joined by one of the governors. He was a former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, under the Olusegun Obasanjo administration, a first-class graduate of quantity surveying, a former advisor to a military government of Abdulsalami Abubakar. Mr. Nasir El-Rufai read law at the University of London and also a graduate of the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. He's one of the founder members of the APC and is spending his second term as the governor of Kaduna State. Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the executive governor of Kaduna State, he joins us live on the program tonight. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean, for inviting me.
You were at the villa last week, towards the end of last week, before the president traveled.
We've been at the villa many times.
But I'm particular about the last visit before the president traveled. And
yes,
when you
on
came
Sunday.
out, on Sunday,
yes.
And when you came out, it was vivid, and it was you were very categorical about the outcome of your meeting with the president and what the president said.
Yes.
And a few hours later, I mean, when the president was even traveling, and when he was asked, what about the national convention? Will it be successful? We said, wait, you're going to see what's going to happen. A few hours later, we understand that Governor Buni was booted out of office. Governor Sani Bello is supposed to hold fort for him. What exactly did the president tell you?
Well, look, in the last couple of weeks, the Progressive Governors Forum, led by our chairman, Governor Atiku Baguda of Kebbi State, has had several meetings with the president and had several meetings from amongst ourselves to try to get the process of the National Convention going, because we are all well-informed people. I administered Abuja for 4 years. Very little goes in this town without us hearing. And we began to get signals that there are some elements in the party that were bent on ensuring that the National Convention does not take place. You'd recall that this National Convention was supposed to take place in November last year, December. Finally, a date of February 5th was announced, and no concrete steps were taken to actualize that. And even with the announcement, unilateral announcement of March 26th as the date of the convention, without consulting us as governors, we began to get signals that there are elements in the party leadership as well as some governors that are working together to ensure that that March 26 days is missed. Now, if it is missed, the following Saturday is the beginning of Ramadan, which means that it's not likely to we are not likely to have a convention until May after Salah. And if we're having a convention in May, based on the INEC timetable, we've already lost 1 month that we should be conducting primaries. So this really, made us become very concerned, and we demanded to see Mr. President as Progressive Governors Forum, along with the leadership of the party. And we met the president on the 22nd of February and laid out to him what we think needed, steps that needed to be taken if we are to have our convention by the 26th of March. And one of the first steps, of course, is for us to know where the national chairman of the party would be coming from, because that will then determine the zoning of the rest of the 5 other zones. The president gave us a decision on that. He said, I'm reluctant to get involved in who is the national chairman, but look at North Central. All the candidates, I'm looking at are in North Central. So with that, we went and did a zoning formula. We presented that zoning formula to him. He signed off on that zoning formula. And it was supposed to be sent to the Progressive Governors Forum chair, and then the party will ratify it. Then we didn't hear anything. We went back a second time and met with the president on the 1st of March to say that the zoning formula you signed off on has not been sent back to Progressive Governors Forum. Instead, there is another list circulating with even names of 4 offices. Names have already been chosen, which we know is not the president. The president was reluctant to even nominate who would be the chairman of the party, because he said, I'm not contesting. I want to hand over this party to a strong leadership that will ensure that it continues. So I'm not interested in who is national chairman, unlike in 2019 when I was contesting. But we said, Mr. President, all of us as state governors, we have an influence on who is the state chairman of the party. So it is only sensible and logical for us to give you the opportunity to guide us on who you think we should support as national chairman. We forced him literally to do that. He didn't want to do it. So when a list started going around with 4 names, Deputy National Chairman North, Deputy National Chairman South, and National Secretary, in addition to the National Chairman, we knew that there was something fishy, and we went to see the president. And the president looked at the zoning formula that we had sent to him before. He said this is the correct zoning formula, signed and dated it 1st of March.
Is it the same one that
This is the same one that has now been ratified by the zoning committee. There was nothing to change.
Okay.
It was a very fair zoning formula in the sense that all the positions held in the last 8 years by zones in the south were flipped to the north. Okay? If you look at national chairman, North Central, it's because North Central is now swapping with South-South. So all the positions of South-South in the last 8 years went to North Central. Okay? And all the positions of Northeast in the last 8 years went to Southwest. That's why Southwest has the national secretary. All the positions of the Southeast went to the Northwest. That's why Northwest now has the national organizing secretary. It was simple, it was fair and logical.
But did the president specifically tell the governors when you were there about his choice of the chairman of the party?
He did.
Who is his choice?
I am not allowed to reveal, but he has told us who he prefers as the chairman of the party, because the tradition of the APC is that the president decides on who is most comfortable with as the chairman of the party, and we try to achieve consensus around that person.
Was that the case in the Oshomole's case?
It was the case. It was the same with. It was the case with Oyegun. It was the same with Oshomole, and we are doing the same thing in this case. And the reason why I cannot tell you who the president prefers is because we are still doing the work of reconciling all the, and getting all the aspirants in North Central to, step down for the president's indicated candidate.
So it's going to be a consensus. We are going to, the Eagle Square with a consensus candidate.
For chairmanship, we normally adopt consensus for chairmanship, national chairmanship of the party. Other positions may be contested, but usually national chairmanship and to some extent national secretary, we do that by consensus. That's how it has always been if you look at all the past conventions we've had. So this is
because it was a U-turn as far as some members of the party were concerned. There are assumptions that the person the president picked or preferred is from Nasarawa State, the former governor, a sitting senator. Those are the assumptions. And when I was speaking with the governor of Nasarawa State, he said he was also surprised when the president visited. So they had another former governor. And, when there's usually this talk about the president said, and you really don't know what exactly is the position of the president.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to ask, is that the same position in the case of Governor Buni? Did the president say Governor Buni should go?
Yes and no, but that's not really what is important. I'm trying to give you a narrative of how things happened.
Okay.
I'm at the second meeting of 1st March where the zoning was firmed up. Okay, no doubts about the zoning, no doubt about convention, and we said convention committees must be set up. So in that meeting, the president gave 3 directives. He said, this is the zoning formula that is fairest to everyone. Okay. I will sit with all the aspirants from North Central and try to get them to agree to consensus around one candidate, one aspirant, okay, when I come back from my trip. Thirdly, he said, swear in the state chairman. The state chairmen were elected months ago. They have not been sworn in. Because they have not been sworn in, the state executive committees have not been functioning. Swear in the state chairman so that they go and swear in state executive committee members, and then fix a date, give notice for a national executive committee meeting, emergency national executive committee meeting. 1 week notice is required, and the president directed that that should be done. In that meeting, Maimala Buni was not present, but one of the members of the caretaker committee, Governor Yahya Bello, Governor Abu Sani Bello of Niger State was there, and he was mandated to pass this information to the caretaker committee to effect these actions. This was on the 1st of March. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, the president left on Tuesday for Kenya, I think. no action was taken. The national chairman, Mai Malabuni, traveled abroad on medical treatment and handed over to Governor Abu Sani Bello as acting chairman while he's away. Governor Sani Bello now said, let's implement the president's directives, let's issue a notice for NEC, let's do this, let's do that. And the national secretary just refused.
That's Senator Akpan.
Yes. So when we heard about it, we converged again to Abuja, and on Sunday, before the president left, we had an early morning meeting with him to say, Mr. President, there is no movement on these things, and we were hearing that there was a court order. We've now found that there is one.
Is it the same one? Can you just put on the court order, which we understand was obtained, and it's perhaps been obtained from late last year? Is it the same one you're talking about?
This is the court order.
So this
court order was obtained in November.
Okay.
A member of the party went to court to say that there must be no convention until his case against the party is disposed of, which can take months or years. And the lawyer of the party and the lawyers of Mai Malabuni went to court and agreed with the petitioner and got this order. Nobody knew about this order. It was never brought to the caretaker committee. It was sort of hidden as a hidden nuclear weapon to destroy the convention, which further made us believe that there are fifth columnists in the party that want to bring this party down. Because if we do not have an elected executive committee of the party and we go ahead to have primaries, we are likely to have our candidates, lose all their seats, as we saw in Zamfara State.
To what end would a member of the party at that highest level go to want to do what you have described?
We don't know. It is counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense, but you can see the order. It is real. It took us a lot of effort to go through all the enrolled orders in the FCT High Court, Federal High Court, before we found it. And when we reported to the president and said no action has been taken, he said, look, Governor Abu Sani Bello must take over on Monday.
That was what the president said?
Yes, he said he must take over and we should use whatever legal means necessary to make sure that this convention is delivered.
That was the president's order?
It was the president's order to us as governors. He said, I'm relying on you to do what is necessary, legally necessary, vacate this order. Abu Sani Bello takes over the leadership of the party, reconstitute all the committees of the convention, and ensure that the 26th of March date is sacrosanct.
So Governor Bello has President Buhari's backing?
He has the president's full backing and the backing of at least 19 of the 23 APC governors and deputy governors.
Well, okay, so the other governors are with Governor Bulin?
There are some governors that are not fully on board. They are the ones planting fake stories that, this one has resigned, that one has not resigned. You get all kinds of stories in the social media. But what I'm telling you are the facts, and this is the situation. And since Monday, when Governor Abu Sani Bello took over, you can see we have made substantial progress. Convention subcommittees have been formed. They have been sworn in today. They have been reconstituted because the convention subcommittees formed by the earlier leadership had 1,700 members, which is half of the capacity of Eagle Square. It's a recipe for confusion. But now we have compact convention subcommittees. They have been sworn in and they are working. And now we are more confident than ever, that the convention will take place. We are aware of this court order. We are taking steps to deal with it. We are also proceeding with reconciliation. There are issues in some states like Sokoto. The caretaker committee received the report and looked at it. The Abdullah Adamu Reconciliation Committee report submitted an interim report that the caretaker committee ought to have acted on, and they did not. Now it's being acted on. We are engaged in active reconciliation. Most of the governors of the APC have moved to Abuja, and we are going to remain here will engage in very vigilant and active reconciliation, bring everyone together, and ensure that the convention takes place on 26th of March. Immediately after that, the new leadership of the party will then announce a program for the primaries. So
we are due for a break in 30 seconds, but I just wanted to confirm before we go on that break that former Governor Abdullahi Adamu is the person that the president...
I am not in a position to confirm anything.
But the person is from the North Central?
The chairmanship has been zoned to North Central. The governors of North Central and Mr. President have to engage in the consensus building before we announce any name. So I am not at a liberty to say.
But we can assume that the president is from Nasarawa State too.
We can assume what?
That the fellow that the president endorsed is from Nasarawa State.
It's from one of the 6 states of North Central.
All right.
Not necessarily Nasarawa State.
We'll take a break and so much more to talk about. And when we return, our conversation with Governor El-Rufai continues on the state of affairs of the APC, the way forward, and Governor El-Rufai's point of view on the issues there on the table. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Since President Muhammadu Buhari left for a medical trip in London on Sunday, it does look like things have changed. And we're getting details of the meeting with the president, with some of the governors. Let me remind you of what President Buhari said. You might look at the body language, because that's a popular way to describe how the president communicates when he got into office. Take a listen again, and perhaps we might be able to pick 1 or 2 things from what the president said. Take a listen to President Muhammadu Buhari.
I cannot claim to be doing the work alone. The government is fully represented. The vice president is there. Constitutionally, when I'm away, he is in charge. And the secretary to the government, and then the chief of staff. So no problem.
Some Nigerians are expressing doubts regarding the ability of your party to conduct its national convention successfully. What will you tell them?
Well, they should wait and see. How do we come as a party to take power from the ruling party who had been there before us for so many years? So we have the capacity. Everything will be all right.
President Buhari said there that they have the capacity. They've always done it. We've been speaking with Governor Nasir El-Rufai, the executive governor of Kaduna State. Is there a correlation with what the president said here and the meeting you had?
Of course.
So he was speaking based on the meeting and the instructions he gave?
The president held that meeting with us, gave us very clear directives and responsibilities, and went into his chopper for the airport. These statements he made were less than 30 minutes after our meeting ended. And the president is right. We have the capacity. It's just that, you know, some of us decided to take the back seat and allow things to even get to this point, because we believed that, you know, once we are elected, we should focus on governing, not and leave the party administration to those that are better at it. But clearly, it got to a point that something was going to go wrong, where the party was being placed at great risk, and we had to do something. And I'm happy that things are moving very well. The caretaker committee has issued a notice of meeting for an emergency National Executive Committee meeting. The president will join us virtually. But of course, His Excellency the Vice President and all the governors and the state chairman of the party will all converge at the party headquarters, and we will take certain decisions that will lay a very solid foundation for the convention taking place on the 26th of March.
So can you confirm to us that some of your colleague governors have ambition, and that's the reason why this dilly-dallying on the convention is held? Is that the true situation of things?
Look, politicians always have ambitions, but ambitions should not be destructive. When your ambition has the likelihood of destroying an entire party that many of us labored for years to build, that ambition is not realistic nor reasonable.
Is the president aware of this?
He was not, but now he is. He is fully informed now of everything that is going on. And this is why he has taken the very clear and decisive stand that this must take place, that must take place.
How did he react to it, Governor?
Pardon?
How did the president react to it when he realized that ambition may be a guiding...
He was disappointed that people will be playing with the constitution of the party and the laws of the country and putting the entire party, a party that has governors in 22 states, a deputy governor in one state, at risk. And he said that we must take whatever steps that are legally necessary to restore order.
Was a marching order?
Yes, that was the marching order, and we are all here. We are all not going to leave Abuja until we deliver this convention and put the party on a sound footing.
Governor,
by the grace of God.
Are there plans to remove some members of the CEPC?
No. I don't think that is necessary. Maimala has more or less stepped aside by handing over to Governor Abu Sani Bello.
Has he stepped aside? Because we understand that he's going to return to the country maybe tomorrow or thereabout. And he's going to assume his position.
I can assure you, even when he returns to the country, he's assuming no position.
Except as the governor of Yobe State?
Yes, that is his substantive position, and that is always there. The National Secretary, I believe the CECPC has taken action against him already, so there is nothing to tinker with.
So the National Secretary remains, Senator Akpan Oduode?
No, the National Secretary, as I said, the party has already taken, the CECPC itself has taken a decision on him.
And what is that decision?
The CECPC will explain that in due time.
Because as a lawyer, of course, you know the legal implication of removing a statutory person from office. There are processes, isn't it?
You know, one of the members of the CECPC is a professor of law. So I can assure you whatever they do is totally legal. Whatever decision they take, CECPC with Professor Tahir Mamman there and many other lawyers of repute, they will do what is legally perfectly correct. And of course, every step they take, they consult the Attorney General of the Federation. So I don't think there is anything to worry there. I am not a spokesman for the party. I don't want to speak for the party. As governors, I can speak for the Progressive Governors Forum because the chairman said I could do so to explain all this. Because we want all the members of the APC and our supporters to put their mind at rest, that the party is no longer at risk. We have no crisis. We are trying to put everyone back together. We are looking at all the unresolved issues in certain states that could not be resolved because of clashing aspirations and ambitions. And we are bringing everyone together. We are talking to to members of the National Assembly. We are talking to the former governors, many of them in the Senate. We are talking to many of the party elders that have been sidelined in the decision-making structure of the party. And we are going to try to bring everyone together because united we stand, divided we fall. We will not be divided.
Do you notice that there's some, I don't know if there are errors in the zoning or there are discrepancies I don't understand, but it doesn't really tally if there were direct and opposite swap of the zoning, or was it wasn't a direct swap? Can you give us an understanding?
Look,
because for example, the National Secretary,
the foundational principle is that all positions held by the South in the last 8 years go to the North and vice versa. Okay, that's the foundational principle. Now, within the zone, within the northern and southern zones, there may be a bit of tinkering for this reason. The Northwest has 7 states. The Southeast has 5 states. The number of positions you give the Northwest and Southeast may not necessarily be the same if you want every state to have representation. So there may be some tinkering, but there is no position that was in the South that has remained in the
But
South.
the question is supposed to be direct opposite, and if you look at the magnitude of some of the positions, for example, the National Secretary position, it was formerly in the Northeast.
Yes, it goes to Southwest now.
But Southwest is not the opposite direction.
No.
So, if it was supposed to be the opposite direction, it would be the Southeast, not the Southwest.
No, let me explain how we came about that. We didn't take North, South, and North Central, and then Northwest, Northeast.
That is supposed to be the, I mean, if based on the principle you explained, that is how it's supposed to be.
No. I said the foundational principle is all positions in the south go north and vice versa. That's the foundational principle. No zone will keep a position for more than 8 years. All right? So if you take that as the foundational principle, okay, let me explain why Southwest and Southeast had to, and Northeast swapped. In the last 8 years, indeed, since the formation of APC in 2013, the Deputy National Chairman North has always been in the Northwest. Governor Aminu Masari was the interim Deputy National Chairman North, and for 8 years, Lawal Shuaibu was the Deputy National Chairman Northwest. Okay? Now, if we said that no zone can hold the same position for more than 8 years, it means that the Deputy National Chairman North cannot go to Northwest for the next 8 years. It cannot go to North Central because they already have the National Chairman. So it goes to Northeast. Okay? Once you say that Northeast will now produce the Deputy National Chairman North, you now have to go south and find out which zone had Deputy National Chairman South, and then you swap them. Because that zone has to lose the Deputy National Chairman South to another zone. In the last 8 years, the Deputy National Chairman South has always been from the Southwest. So it means they cannot hold that position anymore. Okay? So it has to go either to South-South, which has been National Chairman for 8 years, or Southeast. So it went to Southeast. So Southeast has Deputy National Chairman South. So it swaps with Northwest, which had Deputy National Chairman North. Okay? This was how the swapping was done.
So if the North Central, if the presidency, the chairmanship of the party is going to the North Central, one would think, and President Buhari is from the Northwest, one would think that that swapping and the zoning arrangement also might affect the presidency of the party, the presidential slot.
Look, I want to make 2 points here. The first is that this zoning is strictly for party positions.
But this also affects the presidential candidacy of the party.
It should. Okay?
It naturally does.
Yes, but in the constitution of our party, there is a provision that says where the national chairman of the party is from the north, the president must be from the south.
Must. That's what the constitution says.
That's what's in the constitution.
Shall
the chairman and the president cannot come from the same zone.
So you can't have a North Central presidential candidate in the APC now.
No. The zone, the definition of zone in our party constitution is north-south, not the northwest, northeast, north central.
Not subzoning.
What we know now, based on this zoning, is that the expectation is that our presidential candidate will come from somewhere in the south. It's up to the southern caucus of the APC to now produce to propose to us an acceptable candidate.
So that's the possibility.
That's the broad possibility.
As is the president aware of this too?
That's what's in the constitution.
Okay. So I'm looking at how Governor Buni is being eased out. If he doesn't resign, doesn't it create a legal problem for the party? Because if NEC had appointed him, NEC should remove him, logically and legally speaking.
Yes, we have.
But if he had not resigned,
we have
is that not the problem for your party?
We have a NEC meeting in the next few days, in the next 1 week, which the president will join. Any such unresolved legal issues will be dealt with by the NEC.
Okay.
Okay. We now have 36 state chairmen, and we have 23 governors. We have senators, we have House of Reps members that are statutory members of NEC. So we have the quorum to call a full NEC meeting and take all decisions on behalf of the National Convention, and those decisions will be ratified. That's what's going to happen next week.
Let me allow you to respond to the reports that yourself and the Minister of Transport are looking at running for office, and you being the running mate. Is that a plan? Is that
Look, I have said over and over, but I guess, the trust in politicians is very low, so nobody believes me. I have said over and over that I am not a contestant for any office. I'm not an aspirant for anything. Governor Rotimi Amechi is interested in running for the president. He has the right to do so, but I am not running for anything, and I am not going to be on his ticket.
You don't have any.
I have told.
But what if the president, whom you respect so much, says, Nasser, run for office, or be the running mate? Would you refuse?
Well, that's a different conversation. I will have that conversation with the president and explain to him why I don't think it's a good idea. But of course, if he insists, I will. But
are you tired of public life?
I am tired. I am tired.
You are tired of serving the nation?
No, I'm not tired of serving the nation. I'm just physically tired because, I do take my work seriously. And in the last 8 years, 7, 8 years, I've worked flat out. And I'm not young anymore. I'll be 63 next year. So I prefer to, look at other options to contribute to the development of my country. But of course, as you said, I didn't want to run for governor. The president insisted I should run. If the president insists I should do something, I have so much regard for him and for his judgment that I will do it, even reluctantly.
Do you regret being governor of Kaduna State?
No, I have no regrets whatsoever. I think we have transformed the state in many ways. We've brought progress in many areas. I have no regrets. I have paid a personal price, but that's life. I mean, whatever you do that raises the level of humanity, even slightly, is something that gives very positive feedback. So I'm quite satisfied. I feel that we've done a decent job in Kaduna, and I have no regrets whatsoever. And my hope and prayer is that, and I ask Nigerians to pray for all of us, for Almighty God to choose a successor in Kaduna that will do even better than I've tried to do.
We understand that you have endorsed one. You have anointed one.
I have not.
You're a very good friend. We understand.
No, I have not anointed anybody.
What about the story that is going around that your very good friend is now in the wings waiting to just the anointing oil is already on his hand, on his head. He just needs the
No. Stories go around. He doesn't the mantle. There are some that say I've anointed my deputy governor. There are some that said I've anointed my commissioner of finance. There are some that said I've anointed my commissioner of budget and planning. There are all kinds of stories around.
But who really do you want to anoint?
I don't want to anoint anyone.
You have the right to do so.
No. I think the leadership, our first 11, I call it, the core leadership of Kaduna State government will sit and debate this and see whether we can come up with one person that we think is the worthy successor, and what that person will do to carry the rest of the team together. We have our own core team, and we've started meeting regularly. Even our senators join from Kaduna. We discuss this regularly, and at some point we are going to make that decision. But we have not anointed anybody. But everyone tries to give the impression that I'm anointing, but I don't do that.
It's not criminal to want to anoint somebody. It's your right. It doesn't mean that the person you anoint will take it. But it's your right as a citizen to.
If I tell you that in my heart I don't have preferences, I will be lying. I'm human.
You do?
Yes, I do have preferences.
Who is the person?
No, I will not disclose that. Because I'm human, even though I have preferences, I keep praying that God chooses the best person for Kaduna State. Because for me, Kaduna is more important than anything. It's more important than me. It's more important than any friendship. It's more important than any preferences I may have. And I'm human. Only God knows the best person to succeed me. I'm only human.
Is the person in the cabinet your preference?
It's in our core team.
Okay, of the 11?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably
I say core team because these are the guys that worked with me from 2014 to organize our party, to organize our campaign, and we won, and we got re-elected. So they know all the policies that we formulated and implemented. So they will not come and have an about-turn change in direction. This is why I said our core team. Some are in our cabinet, some are in the National Assembly, but we have our core team and we keep discussing. And that is my hope. And the reason why I want someone from our team to succeed us is just because I'm interested in continuity, not because I want to, exclude others that are not part of it.
Would you say you've left Kaduna better than you met it?
I think so, but that judgment is up to the people of Kaduna State, but I think so.
And I would like to ask also, we're going to be going into the 2023 election. You're one of the founding members of the APC. It's going to be 8 years since your party defeated the PDP. Do you think Nigerians are satisfied with the state of affairs of the country? How your party met this country and how your party have been handling the state of affairs from security to economy?
No, I think Nigerians expect much more than we have done. But if Nigerians reflect deeply and compare with the other party, we are still a better choice. And I believe that in 2023, the APC is going to win the presidential elections handily, and as well as the majority of the governorship elections. Okay. I'm confident of that.
We'll see. I mean, today is not the day to discuss that. But let's wrap up. Let me take you back to the National Convention and the state of affairs of the party at the center. Who is calling for the NEC? Who will call for the NEC meeting?
The CECPC has already issued a notice for the NEC meeting. It's the emergency NEC meeting. It requires about 7 days notice, and that has been issued. INEC has been informed, and everyone. I haven't got my notice yet, but I'm sure it's somewhere in my mailbox. And we'll hold the NEC meeting and take all the key decisions that needed to be taken by NEC.
You know the talks around in your party that the list of the convention planning committee that have been pruned down was actually designed to take out all the Buni-oriented characters and push them out. That was a grand plan.
No, if
anybody linked to Buni was pushed out.
No. Look, the list of 1,700 convention subcommittee members did not make any sense. You will not even have space in Eagle Square for them. So the numbers had to be pruned down. Secondly, we are aware that that list was not even prepared by Buni himself. It was prepared by a couple of people in the secretariat. So Memala Buni is not a complicated person with, that has lots of intrigues hidden in his heart. In many ways, some of the things that happened, he's also a victim of others. So, that's not the point at all. We do not have any points of disagreement with Memala Buni. We just have concerns that the way things are going, the convention might not take place. And we had to do whatever was necessary and legal to ensure that the convention took place.
Governor Nasir El-Rufai, the Executive Governor of Kaduna, said, many thanks for coming tonight. It's a pleasure for you to give us the insights of your meeting with the President and the state of affairs of the APC. Thank you so much indeed for coming on tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.